Here we go again.
Okay.
How's your week? I haven't seen you since the pub debacle.
No, the pub incident. Interesting night. I felt it was a moral victory at the end of the day.
Setting the scene for our listeners, we had one of our regular research meetings for this pod at the pub, and we sat in the garden near the car park, which has got probably the 4 spaces closest to the pub are disabled. And as the pub got busier, the youths arrived, and each one of the 4 disabled spaces filled up very quickly with people that had no obvious disabilities. And when we challenged them, they didn't have a blue badge. And I remember one chap was just belligerent. He was just, I'm parking here.
He claimed he didn't see it as well. One of them, if it's the same one or not, but someone just said they didn't see it was disabled. But although the fact it was obviously yellow shirt. Yeah,
mad. But it's good the bar staff came out and cleared them all off and got them to move their cars. But just the I think this comes down to the Gen Z entitlement where
definitely
they don't give 2 shits. I'm parking there.
Yeah.
And actually the ironic thing is if they reverse back 2 car lengths, they would have parked in a space that was marginally further from the pub, but at a young age they could probably cope with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, they were obviously in a hurry to get to the pub and
join the queue.
And he joined the queue, yeah, and they obviously didn't put 2 and 2 together. The reason those ones are so close to the pub, as you said at the beginning, is not because it's handy for them, but I think that's the bit they see. There's a parking space, I'll park there because I can. And again, as you say, the irony being that they only had to reverse back. But it was the bloke who came out as well and clearly knew that we'd bubbled him up and kind of said, well, I didn't realise it bothered you that much, which is a bit strange.
Yeah. A very strange attitude from our Gen Zs.
But on the subject of the Gen Z and how a week went, it was all right, most of it. Usual, nearly getting killed in town by mopeds or people just not looking where they're going on their phones, just walking along. But yesterday, I mentioned I went up to town and Gen Z wise, packed train, people talking, obviously as you do. But the 2 young ladies behind us couldn't talk quietly. And one of my pet hates, every other word was like, I lost count. Well, I didn't actually try and count, but I would have lost count because it was, we're going to like, and the reason he does like this, and I like said, and I just hate it.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what's causing it, but it seems to be some sort of dereliction of our English language. And
what's worse is clearly those individuals that haven't got English as their first language, but probably learn off of others and all the telly, do it as well. And in some ways it's quite amusing when they do it with their broken English, of which every other word is now like. But there we are. Yeah, there we are.
So it's been a busy week news-wise for us to cover. Well, I have to confess, we've got 5 items that are attributed to our friends to Trump. We'll come on to those in order, but I guess the first thing is news. I think it broke midweek that Trump is likely to visit the UK this month being July, to visit. He's visiting one of his golf courses in Scotland.
Yeah, I think there's one, or it was mentioned in the plural, but so I don't know how many he's got, but yeah, certainly at least one golf course.
Will it be a state visit with a address to Parliament and a visit to London?
Well, this is separate. You see, this is the whole bizarre thing. So he's coming to his golf course or courses, whatever. In a private capacity,
not as the president of the US of A.
No, but obviously he can't step out of that role for
someone will shoot him.
Yeah, there is that as well. But yeah, he is the president, and therefore he will have his full entourage and be looked after and be treated as the president of the United States.
Which is fine if he just stays in Scotland and views his business interests and doesn't come down to London to meet the King.
Well, no, that'll be in September. That'll be the state visit. But
is that scheduled for September?
They haven't named it yet, but that's something we'll probably come on to around the when in September, because that will determine whether he gets the honour of addressing Parliament or not. But no, the first one is purely in his Trump empire capacity,
right.
Which, and I was going to say, don't get me started, it might be too late. The fact that first time around, he had to hand over all his assets and his businesses allegedly into some sort of trust, or his sons took them on, or something. Whereas that seems to be completely different now, as is the world really, and the way he's running things. Because it turned out that after his recent trip to the Middle East, in his official capacity, his sons had been visited a few weeks beforehand to seal the deal on some Trump towers, and investments and what have you. And obviously he got his gift of a 747 or whatever it was. But going back to Scotland, so he's coming over in a private business capacity, but clearly Police Scotland aren't just going to go, oh well, you pop over and see you when you go. He's going to get the full bells and whistles and be looked after because of who he is, as well as his protection team. And frankly, I think he's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge waste of money, but the problem is someone of his importance, I use that term really loosely, he does have an air of needing security around him, and he, as you said, he can't just turn up and do.
I didn't realise he suffered from that. I've got to be honest. Importance. Sorry, I misunderstood.
He doesn't suffer from it because he's on the Epstein list, so, allegedly.
Yeah.
Clearly, doesn't have a problem there.
But I suppose the point is the fact that he shouldn't be coming. Is your day job. Do your day job. If you want to do and I know he can't, so it's a bit of a quandary. He can't sort of go, well, at night time I'm going to turn into Mr. Normal. That'd be a fine thing.
But he shouldn't really have business interests, should he? If he's
no, even that. I mean, I think you can have them, but just don't. You notice as well. He seems to find time every. I know it's a very important job, very important man. Pressure, blah blah. Certainly, up until recently, he seemed to have a regular routine of flying from Washington back to his home every weekend. Obviously, talking to the press as often as he could when he boarded the plane and got off the other end, and then on the return journey.
And he just goes back to play golf, doesn't he, every weekend?
Yes, yeah. And I know everyone deserves a weekend off, but he seems to rigidly stick to that. And just lucky he doesn't believe in global warming, really, with the amount of flights he's been taking on Air Force One.
It's a bit like Keir Starmer saying he's going to finish work at 6 on a Friday, and maybe that's the future. And then the state visit. Well, I'd love to see him address Parliament. I mean, that would be interesting if he does that. I wonder if that guy's still got that big inflatable. Was it a big inflatable Trump that he flew?
Was that the baby? Was it the pink?
Trump baby.
Yeah.
I hope he's still got that in his garage and he's going to...
I think they have, because that was actually, it belongs to Parliament. That was, a lot of people thought it was a protest group, but that is theirs to...
Is it?
Yeah. So like when the Queen's in residence, they fly a flag.
Yeah.
They put
Trump baby
inflator baby, goes up
Trump
above the.
Up. That'd be good to get that. Well, let's see. I mean, we'll cover the both visits, I guess. I'm sure when he does visit Scotland, and then when he visits the state visit, I'm sure there'll be something newsworthy for us to rip apart.
Yeah, I'm not sure I wanted to address Parliament because our politicians and bad enough, but I just think it'll be it'll self-satisfy him and they'll think it's great. And so my understanding is they're, by coincidence, possibly, going to try and time it when when Parliament's on recess for party conference season. Yeah. So it won't be sitting, so he can't do it.
That would be good.
Although a couple of MPs have said they hoped he does come when it's not party conference and he gets the full, no, you ain't doing it. So he knows, left in no doubt. I think it's the old story. They're trying to diplomatically manoeuvre it so that he doesn't manage to make a complete mockery of us as well as him.
Watch this space. He keeps delivering news. He's threatening to revoke Rosie O'Donnell's US citizenship. Well, I haven't seen this, so you'll have to enlighten me. What's she done to...
I don't know how far back it extends. But clearly, Rosie, who's a comedian, who's got some Irish history, I think. Well, that's particularly relevant, apart from the fact she's living in Ireland at the moment. But the reason she's living in Ireland is there has, over the last few years, it's not recent, the last few years, been a bit of a spat between Rosie and our man Don. And she's obviously got to the stage now where she's upset him. And he said, he's mooting the idea of stripping of her citizenship. Slight problem, not for him, obviously, because he thinks he can do what he wants, is that she is actually a US citizen. She's not, I think she was born in there. She's not like taken citizenship.
No.
And she is actually a US citizen.
Right.
And the courts have already ruled on the fact that...
you can't do that.
Yeah, I think they quite say, look, nice idea, Mr. Trump, but no, not really.
Yeah.
It's not like an Elon situation where he is South African.
Because then in theory she'd have no citizenship anyway. Unless she's got Irish citizenship.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll find somewhere. Not like that. Begum, Shamima, whatever her name is. She's stuck on the longest all-inclusive holiday for ever, really, at the moment. But so she'll find somewhere. But it's just remarkable. I think probably sums up the bloke that someone's upset him, and he's seriously mooting the idea of taking away their citizenship.
I see 2 of Putin's senior staff got sacked this week and then got killed a day later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. One was, I think one was definitely shot. I can't remember the other one. I think the other one fell off a balcony, which is Putin's favourite way. Allegedly. I saw something about another person falling out of a window. They do seem to be prone to that. Yeah.
Maybe it's on a DNA thing. The Russians balance, or
could be.
You can't lean out of windows without falling. So it does seem to be a bit of a common trait.
And then back to Trump. He's been nominated. This is just shocking. He's been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister. And I saw the video of him being presented with the nomination from Netanyahu. It was just cringeworthy.
Yeah, it was a similar reaction, I think, to when he got the letter from Keir. The visit.
Come and see the thing.
Yeah, and his total self-indulgence and importance.
Yeah.
Just can't help feeling that, so going back to the importance, that he might be a bit premature with the nomination on that, because reading between the lines, I think last week was when it was all supposed to happen, with the kind of posturing and the getting everyone in the right place to announce the ceasefire, and Netanyahu even stayed longer, didn't he? Stayed till Thursday.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the company. And
no ceasefire.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Which, I don't know, doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm not an expert on world affairs in the Middle East and what have you, but the fact that, my understanding is that the Hamas wanted the IDF to withdraw.
Yeah. And
the IDF said no. Bit of an impasse, that one. And I see the IDF on a slight tangent. They've had a technical problem on one of their rockets today, and they've admitted straight away. When 6 kids and some babies were...
they killed, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds a bit harsh, they killed. If there's a technical problem, I mean, again, they seem to be quite prone to them.
Unscheduled disassembly.
Yeah.
Maybe Musk has built a rocket for
it. Maybe.
I think ultimately, and I did say on one of the other pods, I don't think there'll ever be peace in the Middle East. True peace amongst those, Israel and Palestine. I can't see it. I think there might be a good ceasefire, and it might be quite a healthy ceasefire, but there'll still be attacks of some sort, terrorism or something. Yeah. They're just not the right people to be living next door to each other.
And I think all the time you got Netanyahu and Trump, who someone the other day called Dumb and Dumber, which I think is a bit unfair on the film. But all the time they're in charge, because you got Netanyahu relying on Trump and sucking up to him.
Yeah.
Because he obviously kindly sent over the bombers to bomb Iran. And then you got Trump wanting to make it into paradise on the beaches of Resort Trump. And you got Netanyahu, who arguably, allegedly doesn't want to end the war because his government will then collapse, making demands that he wants to wipe out Hamas. That's his aim, but clearly he can't wipe out Hamas if Hamas are negotiating, because that means Hamas still exists. No, I'm with you.
I just don't think they're of the mindset that they particularly want peace.
No.
On either side. And our last story on Trump is that he had a meeting with the president of Liberia, and during that meeting he praised that president for his perfect English. and asked him where he learnt that English. And the president said in Liberia, because it's an English-speaking country.
Yeah.
I think just the assumption by Trump that he was from Liberia and therefore, he doesn't speak English naturally, it's just sort of bordering on racism.
Definitely ignorance, yeah.
And, ignorance. Yeah. And he is ignorant, and he's not very bright. So, but again, that was two films I've seen of Trump this week. The first one was the Nobel Peace Prize, which was cringeworthy, and then the second one was the meeting with the President of Liberia, which was equally cringeworthy when he was quizzing about how did you learn such good English. It's just...
And did he not make any comments? I didn't see the clip myself, but he normally makes very strange, off-the-cuff comments about what a lovely accent, or... I
don't think he did. He just... I don't know. I don't think he's got a filter to know that he's messed up and quickly let's change the subject. He pushes the point, and he didn't let this drop. He was...
So where are you really from?
It was just terrible. But anyway, thank you, Trump. You've given us 5 eye-opening events this week, and we look forward to whatever you're going to offer us next week. And you've also given us enough material for half of our podcast this week, so we're very grateful. We have to talk about the two chaps in Manchester Airport who assaulted some police officers. Allegedly. I've seen a video, allegedly, of one of them laying an excellent punch on a policewoman. Caught her on the chin. Yeah. And she went to the floor, but she reappeared with a bleeding nose and mouth and very clearly very distressed. They'd also allegedly assaulted somebody before the police arrived, so I don't know what their issue was, but they're allegedly having a bad time at the airport. But their defence is self-defence, and I don't really know how that stacks up.
Good question. These people will remember this is the one that the first video that surfaced was the officer kicking the bloke in the head while he's on the floor, and isn't it terrible, etc., etc. Only to be followed by a body cam and this whole CCTV as to what actually panned out. Yeah, get a slightly vested interest from previous things. You're right. Yeah, they went to the reason they were there was to arrest one of the brothers for a previous assault in Starbucks or somewhere on the airport. Yeah, and I don't know what they knew beforehand. But they obviously wanted to detain him fairly quickly, so they approached him swiftly and presumably as they were muttering the words, "You're under arrest," and trying to put cuffs on him, he, as you say, swung around and his brother joined in, and I think his mother got involved with assaults, but obviously got in the way, and other people got in the way as well. So the self-defence comes from that they may not have identified themselves as police officers, and the bloke thought he was being attacked. Right.
They were all uniformed police officers?
They were all uniformed, yes. And it was fairly obvious. I mean, one was even carrying a gun. And even
this is Manchester, though. That doesn't necessarily.
No, that's true. That's a fair point. Yeah, and you could say, well, they even sort of stretch it that someone touched him from behind and he turned around and smacked one of them. You could almost go, well, all right, but then you're going to realise that you're not going to keep fighting. Oh, sorry, I'll rephrase that. If it was self-defence to start with, you wouldn't keep fighting because you'd realise that there were a load of coppers there.
You don't need to defend yourself.
Not the first one. But clearly, obviously they're entitled to a fair trial. Well, it comes back to which I haven't put in the news, actually, going up for tangent. Reducing the amount of jury trials, which I've said all along, why bother with jury trials if it's completely obvious that someone's done something, then...
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I do appreciate that a jury trial is probably more difficult to set up, more costly, more time consuming. But as you say, if you are found at the scene of a murder holding a knife with blood all over you, you probably don't need a jury.
Particularly if you make comments afterwards like, are they dead?
Yeah.
That's kind of a bit of a giveaway.
You probably don't need to convene a jury to decide that you're guilty of that.
No, and people are playing the system, as someone I know recently experienced who's doing jury service, who sat around all day to start a case, only for the last possible minute for the defendant to plead guilty. So you think, well, playing the system. Yeah. Because they hope that witnesses don't turn up or the police don't turn up or the CPS don't. But going back to these two half-wits, I don't know what they knew beforehand, but there are rumours that they may have had contact with the criminal justice system before. don't want to influence. Well, I'm not in the power to position to influence anyway, but I don't think it'll be their first time in court. I think they probably know the way around it.
Well, having watched the video, hopefully they get sent down for that, because you don't, even if you thought you were being attacked, as you say, you pretty quickly realise that these are police officers.
Yeah.
And you're in an airport as well, which is, there's always a lot of police in an airport. It's a very strange place to commit an assault and think you're going to get away with it. And it's not going to be covered on CCTV, etc.
Yeah, and they are also one of them is also being tried for the early assault, which kind of suggests that there's enough evidence on that one as well. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully they get justice. Back to the US, Elon Musk is launching a new political party.
Has launched,
is he?
Launched,
is
yeah.
it?
It's a big.
What's it called? Camp America or something?
Yes.
America First? Or?
Yeah, America United. I don't know, America Party. I think something like that.
But presumably, if he's going to be the lead, is he the leader of that party?
I think by default, I think he's probably the equivalent of the chief whip, the leader, probably the secretary, deputy leader as well.
Right.
I imagine at the moment.
But if they do well and win any elections, he can't be president because he's South African. He's not born in the US.
Yeah, I don't know what their more than me as to what their rules are.
Yeah, apparently you have to be born in the US to be president.
Right. Okay.
So he could never be president unless Trump changes the rules, which he won't do now. They've fallen out.
No,
He might have done it when they were friends, and he could have seen Musk as a successor. But now they've fallen out, and Musk is starting a party to challenge Trump.
Yeah, so I thought you meant change the rules in that he'll try and stay on for a third, fourth, fifth.
Well, I think he'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
But he's still got to win that election.
What election?
If that
to stay on?
Yeah.
I'm not sure there will be.
Well, he'll ban elections as well.
I think he's already intimated that this is the last time people have to vote, or words to that effect.
Oh, okay. So this is similar to Putin. Well, Putin does have elections, doesn't he? But everyone has to vote for him. Yeah,
they go through the motions, but I think, fortunately, Americans are a bit better in Windows, hopefully. So obviously that could be tricky. And maybe tying it all back together, maybe he's, going back to Rosie, maybe he's using that as a test case. So he can strip people of their US citizenship. So even if they are born in America, if anyone decides to run for president and meets all the criteria, like 2 more brain cells than him, and he's American and normal, then he will be able to just strip their citizenship.
It'd be interesting to see who joins Musk. Is it going to be like Reform, where people are leaving the Conservative Party or the Labour Party to support Nige?
I think, sadly, that because of the reason that Trump's got power, following because he's got power and people know which side of the fence to be on, I think he probably will attract a few people. Yeah. And what would be interesting, if it does gather some traction, is to the first person to fall out with Trump, whether they go and join him. Yeah. And you start the infighting, which is hopefully only a matter of time before someone does. I think it'd be great. I mean, our Defence Secretary stayed on. It's a little bit strange. Yeah. I've got a message from him, man, actually. I was wanting to join his WhatsApp group, but I haven't. Well, join it, and then we can cover some of the material on this podcast. Yeah. We were talking about Trump's state visit, but we held a good welcome to President Macron of France, who visited us this week with his mum. Yep. Nice lady, she seems. Yep. Good to see. Yep. Good to see that she still disciplines her son when required. Absolutely. Good slap on the head. Never hurt anyone. And Keir has done a cracking deal, which I don't entirely understand it, because on the face of it, it doesn't seem to make sense. But they've done a deal on migrants, illegal migrants, a one in, one out deal, which doesn't particularly sound like it could work. I don't really understand the sense of that. I'm just going to remain quiet at the moment while I still try to come to terms with it. You carry on. No, I don't have much to say other than what on earth was Starmer thinking. But I think selling us, while you think that through, I think they've also done a deal to join armed forces a little bit more and to fight against someone.
which hopefully doesn't mean that the French will just surrender and leave us to it. But yeah, 1 in, 1 out is, well, it remains to be seen if that's a good deal or a waste of time.
I think we probably do need to take the positives out of the visit, which overall was just pathetic and an over-exaggerated bromance with his mum in tow. So the positives, I think, were that I think there was potential to use Mrs. Macron. If all else failed, we could put her in the channel and, as you say, keep people in order to slap them down, push the boats back.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone's not aware, and I'm not judging, we're not judging but Mrs. Macron, who is actually Mrs. Macron married to President, first met him when he was, I think, 15, and a friend of her son.
Was this when she was a fella?
No, that's since then.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no.
Because that is the other rumour, isn't it, that she used to be a fella?
Really?
Have you not heard that?
I've not heard that one, no. But I mean, there's all sorts of rumours going. I mean, when you talk about bromance and Keir, there's rumours. Just park that for a moment.
Yeah, the lawyers might.
Yeah.
There might be a super injunction coming our way if we were to suggest that Keir's gay. But we'll leave that to Katie Hopkins to comment on. But there is a rumour that Mrs. Macron used to be a Mr. Macron.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any basis for that.
Did that rumour just start once they saw like a right hook in action?
No, yeah. I mean, that could only help to confirm the rumour, but it existed before she took a swing at him.
So I think the other positive, and again, it is difficult in this troubled world and troubled times to cling on to the positives, but we are going to get the Bayeux Tapestry for a little while.
Oh yeah, he's going to give that back to us for a while.
For it's a loan, yeah. We'll probably manage to lose it or something. So that's good.
The Greeks did that, didn't they?
Did they? What, they lost their marbles?
No, they've given us, or we took a load of artefacts that are in the British Museum, and the Greeks want them back, and we refused. Yeah. So I don't think he'll see that tapestry go back.
Well, I think it'd be good. It'd be good for youngsters to be able to go to the British Museum wherever it goes, and I'm sure they'll be flocking there in their droves. The youngsters, we can get them off their phones to go and look in awe at a few stitches. But it was just ridiculous, wasn't it? Bromance starting with his kind of firm handshake on the doorstep where he kind of went into a pipe five type thing, and then when he stood up in Parliament for his speech, which is nothing compared to what Trump will do. Obviously, I appreciate that if Trump gets it going, but basically to say you were missold and you didn't really understand Brexit, and it's all your own fault, really. It's like going to someone's house for dinner, innit, and going, don't like the decor.
Yeah,
just kind of slate them off. Not very tactful. But the deal, the deal, to use Donald's terms, I must be missing something. There's 1 in, 1 out. So firstly, they're talking about detaining people that come. No one's really picked up on that, because are they really going to detain them? So they don't at the moment. They just escort them and process them and send them off. So that's the first bit. Is anyone really dug down into that detaining? And then if 50 arrive and you take 1 out, that means you've got 49 are illegal, who, if you're not detaining, are still in the country. Yeah. And 1 goes back and 1 comes in who, maybe legally, but still adding to the problems of the NHS and everything else.
I would like to see how that works in reality and whether it actually comes to fruition, but we'll follow that one. And we always like to close the podcast with a little nod to wokeness, and unfortunately there are still woke things happening, even though we're trying to outlaw it. This is quite a cracker. So Labour's LGBT group sparks outrage after nominating trans woman for female officer role. You possibly couldn't make this up in a way. I don't know where to start here.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that the court recently ruled that a woman is a woman at birth, there you go. A trans woman has been nominated to fulfil the woman's membership role. So this isn't about anti-trans. It's just flies in the face of, well, they're not a woman, and B, probably just as importantly, is it was a fairly sound argument that only a woman can really understand, a biological woman can understand women's issues. And I'm not talking about empathising, I'm talking about understanding lived experience. Because otherwise there'd be nothing stopping me from going for the, whatever, really, the gay association.
Okay.
Or if I, let's just totally reverse it. So if I stood for an organisation and said, I want to be your trans representative, and they'd, I'm sure, point out, rightly so, that you're not trans. Well, no, but I think I'll be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I know I've not lived it and that, but I can be trans for the meetings if you want. It's not a problem.
It feels a little bit like Labour are out of touch, dare I say. But yeah, it's just unbelievable trying to do the right thing and spectacularly missing the point and very much doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But only in government, it's not like big say in
No.
we live our lives.
No.
Which is reassuring. I think we'll draw things to a close on that point. We'll be back again next week. We're going to try and make it a little bit less Trump dominated, but
could be tricky.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, so we can't guarantee that. But thank you all for joining us.
So that's our view on the last few days, and we'll be back again sometime next week. We'd love to hear from you as well, though. So if you've got any news, issues, annoyances that you'd like to bring to our attention, then please do so. Either direct on email to wtf@grumpy-pod.com or through the website www.grumpy-pod.com, or direct to us on WhatsApp 07873 207 206. Thanks again for listening, and we'll be back soon.